All right, welcome to the Smeggie Cave. How's everyone doing tonight? Oh, my dog wants to talk already. Well, I guess I'm gonna go take him outside real quick. So, I just felt like talking about Second Amendment, talking about guns. I hope some people will join me. I sent out a couple emails to my buddies that I've talked with a lot in different podcasts. How's it going, Scott? Um, so I don't know, maybe they'll be jumping in. I sent it out a little bit ago. Haven't heard anything from them. They might all be sleeping. I know it's a little late in some places. But anyways, maybe they'll jump in, maybe they won't. We'll see what happens. Um, but I just want to talk about Second Amendment, talk about guns. And I miss talking with my buddies. So we'll see what happens. For anyone else, I've actually put the link in the description of this video. So if you want to jump in and see what it's like to talk, maybe you've jumped into other stuff. Maybe I know you, maybe I don't. Like, whatever. I'm always into meeting new people. Maybe this is the first time you've jumped into a podcast. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're nervous about it and be like, man, I wish I could, well, I don't know, whatever, jump into one of the Every Second Matters chats, but it's intimidating. G Webs, he's talks all the time. He's super, like, knows exactly what he's doing. Sometimes he's got, like, John Lott in there or, someone else, Jeff Knox, or some of these big heavy hitters, and man, I'm really nervous about that. Well, come in and bullshit with me, dude. Like, trust me, nobody cares on this channel. So you get all the kinks worked out here, and then if you do jump into something that you actually care about more, you won't look like a complete novice. You know where the mute button is. You know how to turn your camera on and off, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where my career started, if you was at one point, and I think I earned like 78 cents or something the total in my whole channel. Any money because I never reached the, I don't know what it was, $5 threshold or something. Like, I didn't even get my first check till I get $5. And yeah, I did not raise that much. So it's not a career, but if you get what I'm saying, that's how I started doing podcasts and whatnot, was jumping in on. God, that'd be an interesting thing. I wonder what the very first one I jumped in on. That was kind of back in the day when Yankee and Never Enough Ammo and G Webs, they were doing ones like regular scheduled time. Um, I forget who was the first one who invited me, and I said, you know what? I'm going to jump in on that. You what? And then I said, you know what? I'm going to start making my own. That's when Smeggie Cave was invented. And it's been dead for a while, but it's starting to come back every once in a while. So keep your eye out for more of them if you like this kind of stuff. So, anyways, now it's time to show the dog. Everyone likes the dog. Maybe my channel will grow by 1 million subscribers because look how cute this dog is. But also, I don't play with sticks anymore. He was eating a lot of sticks and ended up getting sick a couple times and worried about, what it's going to do to his digestion system. So now we take some of the toys that he's chewed, and this one had this was actually twice as long it used to be. It had like ball on the end of it, and he chewed it all up. So this now, it's like a rubbery thing turned into an outside toy. So now we play with this. Only problem is when he's playing with his toys, he'll bring it back a couple of times, and then he'll decide he wants to go into the back of the backyard and not to dig to bury it, but he drops it and then scrapes at it trying to pick it back up. So it gets covered in dirt, and now I have a bunch of holes. Well, it's dark out, but there's a bunch of holes like way back there over by that tree. and behind that flower box, it's got it all ripped up. So there you go. There's the dog. Everyone likes to see him. So I don't know. Anyone want to jump in? Go ahead, click the link. It'll be fun. If not, you're gonna hear me ramble because we all know how that goes. I just kind of ramble and ramble and ramble. And I had a couple ideas of something because I was seeing that no one else was jumping in for a while. So I thought of a couple ideas I wanted to do. And one of them, let me pull out my other phone so I can make it easy. That's one of the problems with doing the StreamYard on your phone. I mean, it works fine. You can host it no problem. You can chat, talk with people. But if you ever want to minimize it to go open up another tab, like look at a website or look at YouTube or whatever, and it ends up shutting down the stream while you're off the tab. So I pulled out my work phone to be able to look up some other stuff. And this might be challenging with the dog going nuts, but we'll see what we can do. So, anyways, what I wanted to do was go over to FPC, Firearms Policy Coalition, and go to their Take Action page and just see what's going on in the world. Hey, G-Webs, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for the thumb. There's a link in the description if you want to jump in and talk. And again, that invitation is open to anybody. And if a bunch of weirdos jump in, I'm just going to kick you out. So don't be weird. But I know G-Webs isn't weird. So if he wants to come chat, that'd be cool. If not, like I said, I'm going to go read through the FPC Take Action and just see what's... Ow! Sorry about that. That's the other problem with playing with toys instead of the sticks. My dog will drop the toy on my leg, and then he tries to pick it up, and he ends up, nipping me, getting most of the toy and a little bit of my leg. And he pinched me pretty good on that one. Anyways, okay. Let me go back on my other phone here and see what's going on in the... Here we go. Okay, add to stream. There we go. It's the first time I did that. Thanks for joining me.
So you're on your phone doing this?
Yes, I am on my phone hosting a Duckyard or StreamYard Ducky Duck, whatever the hell. Duck Pond.
It's basically it's a type of grass that grows, and instead of having regular looking blades of grass, that looks like little duck heads. So that's a good description. I didn't know. I knew you could do it. I haven't successfully done it. So I figured out how to use it on the phone, but only as a guest or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to start one up too. I found it easier to start it from just go on your browser on your phone, just go to StreamYard. I downloaded the app, but the app seemed kind of weird, so I ended up just going to the website, hit start broadcast, blah blah blah. You link it to your YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it's the same as if you're on the computer. Maybe I'm missing a couple tabs or something.
I think that's what people have said too. Is just to do it like your computer on your phone.
Yeah, so I will agree that the app was weird. I've used the app to, like you said, join in, but I couldn't. There was something with the creating it. I don't remember what I got hung up on, so I just said, "Oh well, forget it."
All right, so you have two animals, and if you took your two animals and mixed them together, right, you would get kind of a gray animal, but definitely the shape of your two animals mixed together, right? A little bit meatier than this one, a little bit lankier than that one, except in a gray color. And I'm like, the other day I go, I'm like, I'm gonna take the dog out because my dog has to go outside every single day, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm taking the dog out. So I'm sitting here having this conversation with myself. I don't know if other people have this conversation or not. I'm gonna put my gun in my pocket to go in the backyard, and I'm like, this will be the time in the world where I needed my gun in my pocket in my backyard, right? So I put my gun in my pocket and I'm like almost thinking to myself, God, am I paranoid or something? And then I open up my back gate and there's this dog that is as big as this brown one here, except like more German Shepherdy. What is this, a dog, a German Shepherd?
Yeah, well, he's 75% German Shepherd, 25 Pit Bull, but he looks like a German Shepherd. I mean, I don't know
All right.
where the Pit Bull
This,
comes in.
this dog had a little bit more furriness on the bottom parts of the feet, right? His hands or whatever. And then I don't know, a little bit more chest, I think, but not like super fat or nothing, but just a little bit more beefier than this dog, but then in gray, like in a gray color. So that's why I say almost mixed. And I'm trying to remember the tail now. I think it might have been a fluffier tail too. But that thing was just walking around my backyard, dude. Wild. And at first I'm like, holy crap, that's a giant wolf, right? Because it looked like a wolf because walking away from me as I first seen it. So just moments in my brain, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm gonna put my gun on to, or put my gun in my pocket to go in my backyard. Like really? Because my backyard's my backyard, right? And then I open up the gate and there's a giant wolf sitting there, and then I'm like, holy crap, that's a giant wolf. And then I close the gate, and then I'm thinking, what's the odds of a giant wolf being in my backyard, right? So I'm like, all right, that's probably a dog. And then I look back again, and what was bugging me is that dog was running around my backyard like this is my backyard, and I've been here like 100 times. Like I'm just checking out all the stuff in my backyard. Like what's this guy been doing in my backyard, right? So I'm thinking, I wonder why Mello never told me some other dog hangs out in our backyard. Anyway, this dog was around the backyard, and then I literally was taking the dog out. So I have my dog tied to me because I tie my dog to me when I go in the backyard. I'm afraid of a falcon or a raptor coming down and swiping her away. She's too fuzzy and cute, and she's probably a good morsel for a falcon, right? We got those kind of things here. So I literally have my dog strapped to me. So I had to take her back in the house and unstrap her to me and then get back out there. So I basically have my leash still tied to me. She's left in the house, but I have my leash. And I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Because just as I'm thinking, why do I have my leash still, right? I'm out here going to get a wolf fight or whatever's happening here. Then I see that that dog had a collar on. And then I'm like, oh, this is just some dog hanging out in my backyard. So tried to get it to stop or whatever, because, you know, not every dog's good. Some dogs have been treated badly or whatever. So anyway, I tried to get it to stop. It didn't want to. Then it just left. So I followed it a little bit. And it turns out it must have just been doing that up and down the street. So there's like this parade of people, like all my neighbors, like standing out there waiting for me to come out, right? Because it's just been going in and out of everybody's backyard. And then everybody comes out in the front yard and goes, whose dog is that? And then we all just watch it keep going down. So there's nothing you can do. Like what? You know, I'm about to take my dog out. I'm standing here like, you know, I'm not prepared to go running down the street after some stranger's dog. And there's like a whole slew of people out there. But yeah, this dog was just sort of taking a tour of the neighborhood. Anyway, just figured you must care because your dogs kind of look like this dog.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Kind of going back with your whole, am I being paranoid carrying a gun or whatever? Well, luckily it turned out just be a dog exploring, and it wasn't a wolf. But even so, it could have been an aggressive dog, and maybe as soon as you stepped out the door, he charged you and started attacking your dog or whatever. It's like you never quite know what could happen.
What if somebody decides to send a dog into a backyard to explore and then being the excuse, and you turn around after going out to figure out what this dog is, and there's 6 dudes with crowbars. Oh, we're just here, wink, wink, looking for our dog. We weren't here to break into your house, and that was our recon. That was our distraction, right? That was our probe. So, yeah. It wasn't, though, because it was just a dog running around, basically acting like it owns the neighborhood, I think. Or it didn't really look like it was scared. It just looked like, why are all these people watching me today? You know, I think it just was some dog that like.
I always do. Why does everyone care today?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just some dog that like goes around looking at it. You know what it is? Probably people that leave their food out for their dogs or like water or something. It probably knows like a bunch of different neighborhood or neighbors where it can go eat their cat food or go eat whatever their bird seed or whatever it's eating. And then I don't know why he would check my backyard. I don't leave food out, but maybe he's just checking out how awesome my backyard is. It's pretty awesome.
He's probably digging all those plants.
So I'm saying he's probably just like, dang, this dude's really rocking with his backyard on a budget.
Oh, that's what I
What do you
wanted
got
to.
going on? Speaking of that, what do you got going on back here in your backyard? You got the raised beds. You got that fertile California climate and dirt and whatnot. What is this? Alien plant?
So this was on Instagram. Remember I talked about that?
Oh, dude, I have a tiny one of them. Holy
Yeah.
moly!
So
What it turns into?
it's
That
like
looks like
it
an
turns in
alien
big,
cabbage or something.
and then look at
Right?
like the flowering part. That's
Oh, that's like a flower that goes up off an agave or something. I thought that was just more of it. So that's a temporary thing that'll go away.
I think so. I mean, I got another
Oh,
one. Hang on a
how long,
second here.
how long has that alien probe or alien reverse lung been hanging out at the top of that?
I feel like it popped out last year, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know that it's like super temporary, but
Hey, Bob, there's a link in the description of the video. Bob is out there. Mark from Canada. Is it legal for him to jump in?
and I guess so.
Well, I had no idea. I knew that mine was getting a little longer, but wowza. Holy moly. So how long has that yellow part been there? You don't know?
Like I said, I think that thing grew out last year because you can see it's got like some dried up like petals or whatever.
Okay, so it's not like some of these things where that's like a 15-day event or like an overnight event or something.
No, it's been like that for a little bit, but
Wow, I had no idea, dude. That's crazy. I need to put them in a way bigger pot now. And they're just out in the summer sun. They're just like there's no shade or nothing there.
yeah. Oh yeah, and so like here's an example. This one piece broke off when my dog like
Oh,
jumped
really?
this one, and I just stuck it into the ground. Here's another one.
And it's
Oh,
just growing
not
over there.
this,
It's like, okay, I'll just grow into be a giant another tree over here.
yeah, this one hasn't. Oh, it's like washing it out, but
Dang, I paid $8 for a tiny piece. I feel like a sucker now. You got like tons of it just laying around.
yeah, it's kind of got some dog hair in it. But you can see this one had already. Here we go.
Yeah, it's got roots just from laying on the ground.
Yep. So I like to kind of.
So it's kind of hardy. I don't have to be delicate with it. I've got it all in the shade. Like I don't want to ruin it because it cost me $8. I didn't want to ruin it. So it looks like I can throw it in the sun and have like 1,000 of them in a little while.
Yeah. I mean, I
Well, the
can
thing
admit
is, the one I bought is sort of a tiny little tree like the bottom of yours. So now I know I can definitely chop the arms off and make each one a separate plant, basically. That was my thought originally. That's
but
kind of neat. You got all kinds of cool stuff. Was this all there, or you put all this stuff here,
yeah,
you guys?
no, most of this was here. I mean, I bought these little cactus, but it's still in a pot. I haven't just.
Is that a real one, or is that just soft thorns?
I don't know. No, it hurts.
Okay. Because some of those sometimes ornamental ones they'll get that they just look sharp. But, okay.
Trying to think of any other cool plants, but I basically I like those ones, and
I never even looked them up. I just saw them at the store, and it was way cheaper than paying. Normally out here, you pay $8 for a tiny thing that's big, like as big as a silver dollar or something. You got them all over the place. That's crazy.
yeah, I gotta watch for landmines. But here's the back of the yard.
It grows like a bush. It's crazy.
Yeah, these ones. I mean, look how
Well, basically, if you went back there and just started kicking it
branches.
over, it's all just going to grow into each one's going to grow into another tree.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one's huge. Like, look how thick that branch is.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. It's like living in Star Trek land or something.
But it's all ground cover. I mean, it goes across the whole back of my yard. This is all. I don't know how many plants all mixed together.
Yeah.
Oh, here. I haven't noticed this. This one's all dried up. This is that same yellowy stuff all dried.
Is there seeds coming out in your hand when you do that?
No, I didn't see any.
Probably all
Oh wait,
fell out.
those might be little. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty hardy.
That's pretty neat. That's thanks. That helps a lot. Now, and like I say, I've been really tender with mine because didn't know how long it takes to grow or what.
Oh yeah, I got some more over here. These ones get kicked all the time.
I was being all like lame with my mango seeds, and then Z sent me some pictures basically the same way. He's like, "Hey, look, dude, I got mango seeds just like like laying on the ground that grow into a tree. Like you don't have to be so fancy about it. Just stick them near dirt, and they turn into a tree." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks."
But
So,
yeah, I like all those types of plants and whatnot.
you meant this to be a 2A thing. You were going to look at FPC for a specific thing or for something in general, just to see what's
Oh
going on.
yeah, thanks for getting me back on track. I distract myself pretty easily. Yep, I wanted to go through and just see the FPC, so Firearm Policy Coalition, um, FPC or firearmpolicy.org, and you can go over to the thing, hit take action. And this is the part where they give you a little brief summary of what like a bill is and whether they oppose it or support it, and then you click a button and write your people, which we all know how much I like writing my people, so that's what I do. Um, anyway, so I'm just going to go through the list on the federal level, and then I don't know if anyone out in the chat wants to look at their specific state. Let me know. I'll pull it up because you can sort it by state level or federal level. So the first one, I know you hate gun bans. I agree. Sorry, I lost his toy. Let me find it. Ah, God, dogs are annoying. Okay, so the first one is a ghost gun ban. Obviously, position is opposed. Introduced by someone from Connecticut, Rhode Island. I don't care about names, whatever. Summary: these bills would effectively outlaw most part kits, home builds, and 3D printing. I think, let me see. I think if you click on that, you can get a little bit better description. But yeah, parts kits consist of everything but the frame or receiver, which is the only part that's regulated. America buy parts kit, blah blah blah. Oh, so this is FPC's kind of saying why they oppose it. You know, blah 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 blah. So, anyways, that's the first one. The second one is kind of similar but a different way. The ATF proposed rule, the definition of a frame or receiver, identification of firearms. Obviously, they oppose that. Summary provides new definitions of firearm frame or receiver. And a frame or receiver, essentially, this would outlaw 3D printed parts kit home builds, 80%ers. They don't say 80%. I added that part, but that's basically what that one is. And I did want to kind of dig into that a little bit more because I'm curious, like, what the actual wording is. So maybe we'll go back and find that after the fact. This next one, the Gun Rights and Marijuana Act, position support. So let's see, summary. This bill would restore the Second Amendment rights of marijuana consumers by creating a federal exemption for state legal marijuana use. So that's the whole thing on the 4473. And you have to check off like, oh, I don't use whatever illicit substances, and then there's even a note that says, by the way, like even if it's legal in your state, you have to hit yes, like if you use marijuana.
So, are you saying that is on their national one, or is that on one of the states that I missed?
Oh, that is a federal level.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard about that one yet.
Yeah, it is the HR 2830. It was proposed from what's AK? Is that
Alaska.
Arkansas? That's what I didn't know if it's Alaska or.
AR is Arkansas. AK
Yeah,
Alabama would be AL, and then
yeah. Alaska. Huh? Oh yeah, when you click it, they actually spell it out. Yeah, it's from Alaska. Under current federal law, all marijuana users are forbidden from purchasing or possessing firearms, even if they live in a state that's legalized marijuana for medical or recreational use. Blah, blah, blah would support both the Second Amendment and the 10th Amendment, with allow states to determine their own laws. Okay. Oh no, did I go too? I went back too far. Gosh darn it. Oh, I hate iPhones. But that's what my work phone is, so that's what I'm working with here.
Well, plus it's mandatory if you live in that region, right? You're not allowed to own another phone.
Yeah, I guess everyone at work, they use the iMessage like group chat, and I was missing all this stuff. All these guys at work were like, "Oh, did you see? Oh, we're doing this, or we got this new thing, or whatever." I won't go super into detail, but I was like, "No, like no one ever told me that." They're like, "Oh, we put it in the group chat." I'm like, "Well, add my phone number to the group chat because I'm not in it." So like, okay, what's your number? I type it in. They go, "Oh, that's an Android. We can't add it. We only use iMessage." I'm like, "Really? You can't just send like a regular text message to me? Come on." So yeah, I was missing a bunch of stuff at work, and so I was like, "Well, I'm not buying an iPhone." And they're like, "We'll buy one for you." I said, "Well, I guess I'll allow it." I really don't like it because then it's like now if they text me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't have any excuse. They're like, "Well, we pay for the phone, so you better answer it when it rings." Like, whatever, dude. I don't work for you 24 hours a day.
You mean the the company paid for it, or like your coworkers chipped in?
No, the company.
Oh, I got the impression when you were talking. I'm like, dang, your coworkers needed your input that bad that they're like, dude, we'll just buy you a phone.
No, that was, I mean, most of them just tried to break me on. They're like, "Dude, just buy one." And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna." So if my company wants to keep me involved, which they need my input on stuff because I'm awesome and amazing, and I always fix all their problems, then they can pay for a phone for me. Anyways, let's go back. Let's see what else is on the FPC Take Action link. Second Amendment for everyone every registerable voter act, or safer. I hate when they do like, "Oh, let's make certain words so that like it sounds good when you shorten it." Anyways, FPC supports it. These bills would remove federal prohibition on the purchase of handguns by 18 to 20-year-olds. These adults can already purchase long guns. Possession is governed by state law. However, a blanket federal prohibition on purchase for 18 to 20-year-olds currently exists. So I guess the idea is if you're old enough to vote, you should be old enough to own a handgun. I'm cool with that. I don't like when, if you're going to get your right, like, "Hey, you're 18, you're an adult, you get your rights." Okay, cool. Well, except for this one and that one and this one and that. Like, wait, hang on. Am I an adult or am I still a kid? Like, make up your mind either way. If you want to say 18-year-olds are stupid and they have to be 21 to buy a handgun, well, then I think you have to be 21 to do everything then. Like, you're not an adult yet, which they're never going to say, so.
Now that I'm old, I also think all these young kids should have to pay taxes. I think 14-year-olds should have to pay. They should start paying taxes when they're 14, and then once you reach 50, you don't have to pay taxes anymore. That's what I think.
That would be nice. Speaking of taxes, for anyone out there, in case you're having an oh shit moment like I did earlier today, today is the deadline for filing taxes. I knew they pushed back from April 15th, but I didn't realize it was till May 17th. So, just friendly PSA. I literally just did my taxes earlier today, and I'm quite salty. Quite salty.
Like you just happen to be doing them, and then you're like, "Oh crap, I did them on the perfect day," or like you're like, "Oh crap, I waited till the last day." Now I gotta do them.
No, like, yeah, I was going through my email, and I got a thing from TurboTax that was like, "Last day to file." I'm like, what now? Because I remember hearing that they pushed back at the April 15th one, and I just, in my brain, was like, "Oh, they must have pushed it back like forever." It turns out, no, it's not forever. I was just going to not pay taxes again for the rest of my life.
It's like,
They're
well,
like,
it's a
but
Democrat, so it's a Democrat now. We don't have to pay taxes.
yeah, I mean, so
Just the rich
2020 pandemic, like, if I have to wear a mask, I shouldn't have to pay taxes. So,
I feel like if there's a Democrat, then only the rich people should have to pay
well, unfortunately, and I don't quite get this. So, my current situation, I get like a performance bonus in form of stock, shares of the company, therefore encouraging me to make the company more money so then my stocks will be worth more. Okay, that's a cool little incentive. Problem is, as soon as you actually like get the shares, the government considers whatever the price is on that day, they act like someone just wrote you a check for that much money. So all of a sudden I have, these shares, which is cool. I like having like that extra little bonus. But from the government's point of view, I have a whole bunch of money. But when I look at my bank account, I don't have a whole bunch of money. So I'm like, so what's the point? I guess you have to sell them like the second you get them, and then they're gonna count that as income also. So you kind of charge it twice. Like it's stupid. And then the price has gone down since I last got them. So it's like I'm gonna make up numbers because I'm kind of proud of this stuff. But let's say it was worth $10,000 when I got it. So I'm paying taxes on $10,000 worth of stuff. But now it's only worth $7,000. I still have to pay taxes on the 10. So even if I sold them all, like I'm not gonna have enough money to pay the taxes for what I owe them. Like it's stupid. It's just you get the things, and then when you sell it, now you have money in your pocket, and then you pay taxes on that money. Like that at least makes sense. Oh shit, Pink's out there, dude. You have to jump in.
Yeah, there's a link in the description. He's letting anybody in here.
It's,
So
who invited this guy?
Is this what night is this? What day is this?
I know, right?
I don't know. It's Monday.
This is awkward. I don't mind standing in between you two, but quit touching. It's weird. Leave me out of it.
Wow,
So,
that went dark fast.
I'm just saying. First, I was like, "What is there? A puppy squiggling across my lap?" And then I'm like, "Oh no, it's these two
Oh God.
fiddling with each other." So I was watching a thing because now I guess it's the thing to do when you're a youngin' to get your job and then to go onto the internet and tell everybody how much money you make and then what you do with your money, and like because they don't teach that in school, I guess, or maybe it's cool to like soft brag or something to, or is it a soft flex or whatever it's called, to like put their stuff up there. So this kid was saying how much money he makes, and he's like he made $70,000, let's say. I forget the numbers. It was like, let's say he made $70,000 in his salary, and then he made $70,000 in a bonus. But then he's like, in my salary, I get taxed X amount of percent. I forget what it was, and then that tax was like $7,000. And then he's like, my bonus gets taxed as if I was making, I forget tax bracket, so 46%, top tax bracket. So a $70,000 bonus turned into like 36. And he's just like, do. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, I don't think I could handle getting 70 grand, having it cut in half, and then just being like, okay, well, no big deal. Just took half of my money. Is that really hard?
It is what it is.
It happens.
That's crazy. Obviously, I don't go around getting $70,000 bonuses anymore.
I don't know if there was something like that. Now those numbers, zeros on the end. But that happens. She did two different jobs. She's a freelance, right? So she's an independent contractor, and she did two different jobs for the same company, like a week apart from each other. And they took taxes out, like they did the right thing. I forget what form that is she gets, but she always has like 100 of them by the end of the year from all the different people she works with. It's a pain in the butt to do her taxes. But anyways, so like the first one they took, again, I don't remember the numbers exact, but it ended up being like 10% or something. So it's like, okay, I got paid this much for a day's worth of work. They took this little bit out. For some reason, the second one, they took out like 40%. So she's like, I have more money in my pocket for the first job, which was a 1 day job, than I have money in my pocket from the 2 day job, because like it's probably kind of like what you were saying, that bonus is somehow they put it at like the higher tax bracket rate. Now hopefully when it all averages out, like that'll end up being refund money or whatever, because it'll all average to what she like actually makes per year. But
This
it's
guy
like,
was like
seriously, why did I even work 2 days? I made more money working 1 day, and I could have just said no thank you and slept in for 2 days.
It's rarely that easy. Trust me.
That's what I do. I just don't say, I just don't accept all these things and I sleep in, but then somehow I don't get paid double. I don't understand. That part's not working, but I do the not taking jobs and sleeping in part. I got that part down. I'm expert at that part.
Yeah, I had to file an extension today, so yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about 2A stuff and then somehow got off on the taxes because taxes started the whole problem with 2A.
Yeah, it should be, if you deal with 2A, you shouldn't have to pay taxes.
I like that. If you're 2A enough, like at a certain level of 2A, then you shouldn't have to pay taxes anymore.
Right.
Did Smeggie get cut out, or is he just listening up?
He's muted or listening to us and letting us talk, I think.
Jeez Louise, I can't leave you guys alone for 30 seconds. You guys need me that much? I'm sorry, I had to use the restroom.
Well, you keep dodging me every Tuesday night, so you know.
Well, that's because I hate you, and I kind of regret sending you the link, but whatever.
Yeah, I figured. That's why I've got Travis.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good substitute, I guess. Oh, gosh darn it, Colorado just scored.
He doesn't sing well enough, but I guess or play the drums, but I'll have to do what I can.
He better not sing at all. I'm going to start charging you if other people are singing. But anyways, yes. 2A. So let me pull my other phone up again and go through the rest of FPC, Firearm Policy Coalition's Take Action tab. And this is at the federal level. I haven't seen anyone ask for a state level. So go ahead, put that in the comments, what state, and I'll pull that up and talk about your state or whatever you're interested in. So,
can you talk about my state yet today?
No, because no one has requested to talk about your stupid state. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I know they did something good.
Thank you. That hurts. That hurts, but thank you.
Yeah. So, this next one, bill to repeal Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, or PLCA. Position opposed. So this is that bill that like stops people from suing gun companies if someone misused their product. These bills would repeal the protections, opening up firearm manufacturers to aggressive lawsuits for criminal misuse of their product. These bills are designed as an attack on the supply chain and intended to bankrupt lawful firearm companies. So basically, what happened to the Ring of Fire guns, right? Right, G-Webs?
Yeah, and then Glock. Did you ever read the Glock America's Gun book?
I have not. I don't Glock, so. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like them, but no, I just haven't had a chance to read it.
You know what I'm talking about. I know a couple people have, but that was another part. Glock had, one of their things was to go into a department when they were first bringing the Glocks in, like in the first waves of reluctancy to go to a polymer semi-auto, because a lot of departments back then still had revolvers, right? So that's like going
beat the junk.
Yeah, so they had to go to the hurdle of a semi-auto and then a polymer gun in the 80s, right? So what they would say is, we'll take all your old guns and get rid of them for you. We'll consider them a trade-in, and then that way you don't have to worry about all that. And I guess that's the costs for the departments. They were like, okay, that's a deal for us. And then get all these Glocks for free, basically. So they were making it like super easy for the departments to transition over. Glock ended up with all these old guns. So Glock just sold all the old guns, right? Like, there's a bunch of old guns for sale. And that ended up basically what happened is Glock, one of those guns got used and they attempted to say that it has to do with where the gun comes from is responsible, and they're like, well, then it's the police department that's responsible. It somehow came out to like that checkmate, right? Something similar to that, and then that's when they were like, oh wait, these lawsuits don't work, and that's when to stop the the waste of money, the diversionary tactic of just spending everybody's money in court by making frivolous lawsuits. That's where frivolous lawsuits. They made that plaque or whatever it's called, LACA.
Yeah, but I don't think these politicians are thinking things through, because if these companies stop making firearms, they won't want to make firearms for the civilians, one, and two, they're like, well, if we're not making firearms for civilians, why the hell are we making firearms for the government? Because they'll still be able to sue us. So let's not make firearms for anyone, and that'll basically kill all firearms manufacturing in the country.
I think you misunderstand by saying they're not thinking that through. That's exactly what they're thinking through. That's exactly what they want.
What'll happen when our country's military forces face an enemy of which they need better guns?
Well,
no, because everyone will just love each other, so you don't need guns. Guns are bad.
Yeah, I hate to mention this, but that ain't working for Palestine and Israel.
They're not using guns; they're using missiles. So the deal is, though, if you stop gun production in this country, which would make this country safer, then you would just let the police and the military buy their guns from Beretta and such companies that are in other countries where we don't care if they're safe. There you go, or Czechoslovakia, or whatever it's called now.
So, yeah, but then we'll miss Colt. I mean CZ.
Yeah, so you're saying it's the import loophole.
Well, I'm just saying, like you said, their goal, the anti-rights people's goal, is to end firearms production. But Night Strike's concerned that they somehow want a disarmed military. That's not part of their agenda. They'll still have an armed military. They don't want us to have stuff. They don't care if our industry gets destroyed. That's all I'm saying. Is if they'll just buy guns from someplace else to, do tyranny and jackbooted stuff here. They'll still get their guns.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
Well, nobody does. I just think that's what they're not worried if they kill all gun production here. What do they care? Oh yeah, sue all the gun producers. I make it tedious, make it expensive. We don't care. We'll get our guns anyway.
Yeah, so I wish I could remember the name of the movie. I'm sure all you people out there or whatever might know it, but I want to say it was like from the 90s. I watched it as a kid and didn't really understand what was going on. And then I rewatched it, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago. But it's basically... Was that you, Ibs?
I think the movie you're talking about is Close Encounters of the Third Kinds, and it's about aliens.
Oh, no, that's not...
I thought it was that great documentary about fighting the Soviet Union called Red Dawn.
Oh, I see what the problem is. Night Strike, you're kind of loud, and then so I turn it down when you talk, but then I can't hear G-Webs.
Oh, and then people tell me if I do this, it's louder, so I'll do this.
Okay. I mean, either way, but I was like, how come I'm missing shit or someone's yelling or whatever? But I figured it out. Okay, so, no, but this movie is like, it's all court cases, right? And like the big hotshot lawyer dude is trying to get this like gun company, and I think there was something with like bribing jurors, like the bad guys, the gun companies were like bribing jurors or threatening them or whatever, and it's just a big thriller crime thing. But they were talking about how the gun company was like advertising their, it was like a Tech 9 or an Uzi or it's one of those types of things. They're like, but look here on your marketing, it says like, slip resistant grip that doesn't leave fingerprints or whatever. Like, clearly you're marketing towards criminals, or And what about this about being silent or like it was so stupid that I'm kind of blocking some of it out.
Is it The Firm? I just typed it into a search engine to see. I can't remember what The Firm was about. Nah, that was about mob stuff. The Lincoln Lawyer? No. When was it? The 80s?
I don't I don't know. I guess I kind of thought it was the 90s, but
I can almost remember what you're talking about, but I wasn't paying attention at the time to be offended by it being about guns. But I definitely didn't watch the movie again.
movie about suing gun company. Runaway Jury. Oh, that's in 2003. Oh, that might be it. Runaway Jury. Let's see. After a workplace shooting, a trial against the gun manufacturer pit's lawyer, blah blah blah, Dustin Hoffman, against
It
shady
says
jury consultant, blah blah blah, who
it
uses
says a
illegal.
major it says a major gun manufacturer.
Yeah, yeah, because the dude who works for the gun manufacturer is the shady jury consultant and uses illegal means to stack the jury with people sympathetic to the defense. But when juror so and so, whatever, and his girlfriend reveal the ability to sway the juror, develop a verdict, blah blah blah. High stakes cat and mouse game begins. I'm pretty sure this is it. So I guess I wasn't too much of a kid. If it came out in 2003, I wasn't a kid. I was out of high school. But either way,
And it starts out with that one guy being the lawyer, like in like a basement office, and it's all messy. And he's like, I'm not any good anymore. I'm too old." Or am I thinking of mixing it up with a different movie?
I don't remember that part.
I think I'm mixing it up with a different movie already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it.
So what about it? You're talking about some random clip about it, or what they said in the clip?
No, I'm just going off memory, but the way that they were trying to convict the gun company was saying that basically they were willfully selling to criminals and because of their their marketing thing, because I remember the thing saying about something about the grip doesn't leave fingerprints, and they're like, what law-abiding citizen would care if fingerprints are on their gun? Which to me, I would say, well, I don't want the oils from my hand being on my gun because that's what can cause rust and stuff. So the dirts and all the things, I like my guns clean. I don't want fingerprints on it. Not because I'm worried that someone's going to dust for it. Of course, my fingerprints are going to be on my gun. They're my gun. But I'm trying to go through the plot, synopsis, to figure out if I can find exactly what I was talking about. But I don't know. It's just it was kind of an example of this is the type of stuff that I don't think in the real world I don't think you'd be able to sue the gun manufacturer over anymore, because basically it's this crazy dude, a failed day trader, and he shoots 11 people, and then they sue the gun manufacturer, which doesn't make sense to me. That sounds like the failed day trader's the bad guy, I would think.
This any better?
Yeah, that's good.
It's oddly less, yeah.
Yeah, now you're not yelling in my ear. Because I got my little ear pods in. I just got them recently. I love these things.
You heard of Rex Reed before?
Yeah. I know that name.
I guess he's a critic. So this is from 2003 when that movie came out, right? Because I was searching for it also. And it goes, Runaway Jury. This is, I guess, a critique of that movie or a review of that movie or whatever. Runaway Jury, the latest in an endless stream of expensive, bloated, all-star legal thrillers by billionaire hack writing machine John Grisham to be processed into celluloid Velveeta, gives new meaning to the word preposterous. So I don't think even that guy liked that. I think that guy didn't like that movie.
You don't say.
Yeah, the plot is all about the jurors because yeah, there's all these bribing and attempted suicides and weird shit. I don't know. I can't find the part, but whatever. Anyways, like I said, made me think of it because that was they basically were going after a manufacturer because a bad guy did a bad thing. So go watch Runaway Juror, and it'll be fun. That's my Smeggie recommendation. Because sometimes it's fun to yell at your TV and like throw popcorn.
Yeah, the problem is whenever I have the TV on and I'm watching TV, I don't always have popcorn next to me, so probably not a good idea.
Oh well,
I'd probably throw something else.
make some popcorn, put on the movie, then throw the popcorn at the TV.
I just got a new TV.
Okay, you can still throw popcorn at it. It's not like I'm saying throw a brick at it. All right. So, anyways, let me go through the rest of these FPC take action things. I think there's only a
Go
couple
for it.
more. So this one is magazine capacity bill. They obviously oppose it. Summary: the bills would ban the sale, manufacture, transfer, possession, or importation of magazines that hold more than 10 rounds. I feel like they just do that every single time, like every year, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying don't fight it. I still click the little button and write my people, but we all know what that is. We don't need to. There's no big debate on that. We all agree that no one needs more than 10 rounds to hunt deer. You can hunt. It's legal to hunt people with 30 rounds, but you can't hunt deer with more than 10. Like it's come on, come on, man. Next one, federal red flag bill. Bill would expand background checks, limit handgun purchases, and enact red flag laws at a national level. Okay, that one's pretty bad. This one is one that they suggest supporting. Concealed carry reciprocity. Dude from Texas introduced it. The bill would essentially treat concealed carry licenses akin to driver's license, allowing a concealed carry permit holder to carry in all 50 states as long as they abide by local laws and restrictions. Then there's one about oppose the ATF dude. I guess he's the bad guy. I don't know. I feel like those are kind of like who's ever in charge of the ATF, they're going to suck anyway. So, yes, the dude was in charge of Waco and he's dumb and he worked for Gifford or Bloomberg or whatever. But even if you oppose him, they're just going to pick someone else and he's going to suck too. I don't know. Am I wrong? Like, should I care more about opposing the dude? Because
I mean, you're just reading off a list of things, so there's not like a priority there, except for being like whatever you sorted them, like alphabetical or.
I think they pop up in chronological. So
yeah, like when they posted them, not necessarily what's the most important. So that one, I'm wondering since I was telling Crump this on his show the other day, or pondering because he was upset about it and saying that it's a big deal, and I was saying, yeah, I agree, it could be a big deal, but since they haven't had a head of the ATF for two administrations now, so fucking 12 years. Wait, has it been 12 years? No. However long it's been. It's something like 12 years, though, because it was in the middle of Obama. Or no, maybe since before Obama. Shit, it's been more than 12 years, right? So it's been a while since they've had one. The suggestion that they're going to create one out of nowhere is not quite absurd because there should be one, and it is out of the ordinary to not have one. But since it's become sort of the ordinary to not have one, why would we think in the middle of all of this he's just going to, oh, well, let's stop everything and just give his first shot for, ATF, the fast run through, like the go through the thing without an ID check, like
yeah, fast check or whatever, fast track.
The fast track, I think. So since they know that it's the opposite, that as soon as they put somebody up there, it's going to be ultimate scrutiny. Well, they decided to put the worst, like literally the worst person. I don't even think they could pick a worse person to put up there. So if they want to distract from all the other stuff going on, why not throw like the worst person possible into a position where nobody really cares or expects there to be anybody? Nobody expected them to fill that role since the last two administrations completely went through their whole administrations without filling that role. I'm thinking is that a red herring? I'm thinking it's a distraction. It's an intentional distraction to gain points for their side because they win. They get to say, look, we put your guy in office, or we tried, right? They win both ways. And then we get distracted. We spend resources, time, effort, more than just what we're spending right now, but in the community. Like, oh, let's make a video. Let's get people to get upset. Let's call congressmen over a potentiality. Then they look like sky is falling, except worse. Like the sky might fall, might fall, might fall, hasn't fallen, but might fall, might fall. I mean, just get your ear because I can tell you about what might happen. You know?
Well, I guess my kind of thing, I didn't realize it was that long that they haven't had a director. But obviously someone's doing that work, right? So it's just they have like as of right now, they have someone who's like acting director. He's just not officially the head. But I mean, someone's still signing the paycheck. Someone's still saying, "Hey, we're going to go after ghost guns. Hey, we're going to um, whatever change the definition of a firearm receiver. We're going to go after 80%ers. We're going to go after stabilizing braces. We're going to go after bump stock." Like someone still makes that decision,
Well,
and still
the president, and that's the thing, because the president says that here's my executive action or order or whatever he happens to call it, because it's just a dictate to his own employees, right? His own subordinates, I should say. They're all our employees, right? But his subordinates, he's the executive branch boss. So he tells his ATF instructor, go do, or director, go do this stuff. Without one, an interim director, they just shuffle that person out anytime at their discretion, right? So there's no responsibility. There's no, the buck stops there type of thing. And that's where they must love that power or that whatever freedom that gives them, because there's no ultimate responsibility. There's no person that's going to be brought somewhere and say, what did you say? Who the president told you to say what? What did the president tell you to say? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't exist. So now it can just be this like, oh, I got the impression the president told me to say this. And on the other hand, nothing gets done. And that's kind of what we want the government to do. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing gets done. Nothing horrible has been done against us, except for bump stock and a couple of other things. So I'm just saying there's that angle.
yeah. I just wonder though, again, like without having a person, is it one of those things where they could do something like egregious, and then if let's say everyone actually works together, gets up in arms, like, oh my god, how dare you do this, blah blah blah, they can just be like, oh well, that was Jerry, like he doesn't work here anymore, like don't worry about it. We like he was just an intern, we got rid of him. And then the next dude comes in and he bans all semi-automatic guns, and everyone gets pissed off, and they're like, oh no, we don't have that dude anymore either, like he doesn't work here anymore, so don't worry about it, it's all good.
Well, I mean, I guess that would be the concern. But again, if that was something they could or would do, why wouldn't they do it already? Why didn't they do it already? Why aren't they doing it?
Right. Yeah,
So,
I think you kind of touched on something when you said it's a way of them being able to
sorry,
go
that wasn't me doing that. That was Night Strike reaching over again.
No, that wasn't. That was totally G-Webs.
I've never kicked anybody out of one of these before. I don't know what it does. I could try it. What do I do if I click on a thing? Well, I could kick from studio or ban from studio.
Ah.
Or remove from stream. So I could do that. And then now he's just in the back room and no one can hear him. And then I can hit add to stream and he comes back. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know my powers. Sorry, I'm learning the duck as I go. But shit, what did I want to say? Oh, I think you touched on something, G-Wubs, when you said they could go to their people and be like, well, at least we tried, right? So it's a win-win. And that's they can go to their Bloombergs and be like, hey, dude, we tried to get someone in there, and the evil NRA stopped us, but please give us more money though, because we still tried to get rid of guns like you want us to. And it reminds me of like those politicians. So was it when Hillary was running, like during the primaries, and they basically were fighting over like who the NRA hates more, and they're like, "You got a D minus," so they gave me an F, and so that must mean you love guns because you got a D minus, and I promised to bankrupt the NRA or blah 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 whatever. Like they hate me so much. It was a feather in their cap. So I wonder if it's that same kind of thing. Be like, oh well, our dude, like the NRA really hates that dude, so we must be doing something right. Give us more money, Bloomberg.
Well, and maybe it's just they could be just not aware, or maybe you can't. You got to play to win. Like maybe they're thinking, well, with the NRA failing and all the gun owners seeming to dig it, they're cheering it on. They're toasting marshmallows as the NRA burns. So what if we throw this guy in here? The NRA isn't going to be able to stop him now. Maybe they're just testing the water. Maybe it's like, hey, let's throw something out there to see if the NRA does have any more teeth. Let's see what happens if we throw this out here. Can they stop even this easy softball? Maybe like as a gauge.
Maybe. But I don't know. I still don't like the ATF either way. So whether that guy gets in or not, like they're still going to try and infringe on our rights. So I don't like them.
I don't like him either.
It shall not be infringed. All right, let me
Exactly.
This one, I don't know. There's not a lot of detail on this, but it sounds pretty crappy. HR 127, gun licensing, registration, and partial ammo ban. This came from, I recognize that name, Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas. Well, she was one of the ones in those hearings that was super annoying. I definitely remember that name.
Sheila Jackson Lee, I believe, should be remembered because her arguments are as solid and weighty as 10 boxes you might use for moving.
Right. Are they as weighty as that one representative's words about how if you put too many soldiers on that one island, it'll capsize?
Yeah, her argument has that kind of weight to it. It'll flip an island.
But anyways, yeah, I was confused because the thing I'm thinking of was during the hearings at the Texas level, and this is a federal representative, so they wouldn't have been speaking at the Texas state thing. That'd be a state level representative. So anyways, but yeah, I recognize the name. I think it's crazy or whatever. But Boo, Texas, to provide for licensing of firearms and ammunition possession and the registration of firearms and to prohibit the possession of certain ammunition. Well, that's just that. Like I said, it's not super detailed on what all that is, but
so based in that particular one, she wants 50 BMGs to be regulated and prohibited.
Oh, I did end up. I forgot you can click on them and get a little more detail. It's still going to have like
she's really concerned about 50 BMG. Somebody told her that a 50 BMG could take out airplanes or whatever. It's like an anti-material, weapon. So she thinks that means like, airliners in flight. I think.
Oh my God, this is crazy. So, establish a publicly searchable gun registry containing your private information. Require you to petition an attorney general for a license to possess a firearm or ammunition. That's kind of like the FOID card or whatever. Force you to obtain firearms insurance from the federal government at a cost of $800 per year. And then ban numerous rifles, AR pistols, shotguns, 50 caliber ammo, and any magazine with a capacity over 10 rounds. This last one is slap gun owners with mandatory minimum prison sentences and fines for so-called violations to this proposed legislation.
The best part is like the 800, well, not the best, but an interesting aspect is the $800 insurance rate. Like, we've done the science.
Yeah, that's super affordable.
The science has come up with the rate of $800 a year per gun owner based on our sciences. Like, where would you even come up with that? And how would you decide that that's the number that every gun owner was going to pay? Like, oh, you have one gun? Okay, you're paying the same as this guy with 100 guns. And that's going to be the same as this guy that had a gun for a week.
I'm gonna say don't say that because it could just be $800 per gun. That solves that problem. But yeah, insurance is it's based on a cost benefit ratio, blah blah blah, whatever. Like the whole reason you have car insurance is most people don't ever make a claim in a certain year, but they still paid whatever X amount of dollars. And then one person gets in a really bad accident. The insurance company has money to fix that guy's car or medical bills or whatever. And then it's from all the people who didn't make a claim, all their money.
It's like they just said, well, let's see, we get this many gun deaths and it must cost $1,000 per gun death. And then there's this many gun owners. So if we just do some simple division, $800 a year, no big deal. We got it covered. Now gun owners pay for all the gun deaths.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Because I know the firearm insurance is not, what I would want if I had firearm insurance. Being if something happens to my firearm, then it's insured, right? Like that, you can just put that under your homeowner's insurance or whatever. Like if it gets stolen or if it's damaged somehow or whatever. But I know that $800 a year is not for if you leave a box of ammo in the basement, it gets flooded, and then you can file a claim and get another box of ammo, which is what firearm insurance should be. Or, oh man, the dehumidifier in my safe went out and all my guns rusted. Like, I need all new guns. Well, I paid my $800 this year, so give me a check for 50 grand so I can buy all my new guns. But what does it pay out for? Then I'm assuming it's like liable for accidents or something.
Yeah, probably like the kind of insurance you have to have on your car, not to replace your car, but to pay for the other people's medical bills, right?
Yeah. If you have what is that? It's like the bare minimum one that I forget what it's called. But yeah, I mean, for my $800 a year, I would want it to be to replace my firearm if it's damaged or stolen. But anyways, I mean, a lot
Can
of
you
these.
imagine if they charged based on the stopping power of your bullet? Because then people with 45 ACP or 10 millimeter would have to be rich to be able to walk around.
Well, and good thing she wants to ban 50 cal. Otherwise, those guys would be. I mean, that'd be through the roof too, right? It'd be just under the 45s, right?
Yeah, seriously.
A 50 cal almost has as much stopping power as a 45. Two world wars.
If the world wars would have stopped earlier, you could say that the 50 had more stopping power, but
All right, let's plow through these. The next one.
you'd asked earlier if anybody had any states to recommend. Nobody has recommended any states. Woods had talked about President George Washington earlier. He mentioned President George Washington, but I haven't seen anybody mention any states to be covered.
Well, I was gonna go look up Night Strike because he's right. There's a thing that happened there. We can talk about that in a minute.
So you mean Arizona, where he's from?
Yes, exactly. That's what he totally means.
I can look up Arizona too, but I just want to whip through these because I remember now. I read through these earlier. It's like it starts. It's almost like I don't know. These are kind of lesser ones. Either they don't really matter or they're not going to happen or whatever. But this one, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would suck if it did. Stop Online Ammunition Sales Act of 2021. Blah, blah, blah. Institute Federal Licensing Scheme for ammunition retailers prohibits online sales, and establish reporting requirements for ammunition purchases. Well, that's really scary. Feel bad for Foose. Goes through a couple thousand rounds a week, but he's going to be on many lists. And this other one, they oppose funding to hire 200 new ATF agents. Oh, it's the same Texas lady.
Yeah,
Imagine
go
being at
figure.
a competition. Right? You're at a competition and you're plowing through rounds or whatever. Boom, 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 right? And then somewhere in the middle of there, they do like a random check, and then they pull one of your cases off the ground. And if you don't have enough indentation of your micro stamp, serial number or whatever on that cartridge, then you're DQ'd from the event.
Oh, jeez.
You should stop that right now.
I'm
Well,
just
I mean,
saying that would make it safer. I would feel safer watching one of these events if I knew that every round was being micro stamped. Bam, 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 bam.
You know, your
Well,
sarcasm is showing.
Legibly. I don't want
they,
half of micro.
I was gonna say they do checks to make sure that you're not using a lighter powder charge or whatever for if like you're shooting major versus minor. If you're shooting a major caliber, but then like you load it way down, then it's like, oh well, that's like a really fancy 45, doesn't count anymore or whatever. So they chrono your ammo, make sure that you fall in the right category. So I guess you could just do it during that same time.
You know that in those competition shooters, there's going to be some rule when they get to that point where it's going to be like, your serial number must have this many digits. Otherwise, you're cheating by removing more weight from your gun than other people by having less digits in your serial.
Oh well, that's something that with the I wanted to bring that up when we were talking about the ATF rule change. One of the things is, and it's not just like going after the 80%ers or whatever, but when they're talking about the requirements for what has to be on the gun from a manufacturer or an importer, and it's like they added a whole bunch of stuff. Yet, like you obviously you like need the serial number, and then you need like the name of the manufacturer or abbreviation, and then like the state that they're in, and then their FFL number, and it's getting to the point where like every gun's going to look like a Ruger on the side, where like half the owner's manual is stamped into it.
And then for a while there was Century, I think, who had that like dot matrix engraver. And whenever they would import something, it'd be like they would spell out like 308 Mauser down the barrel. Like what the heck, dude? Like do your inventory on a tag that you throw away. Don't put it on your damn gun.
All right, so this is another one from our favorite person from Texas. I just think that the name of it is interesting. It kind of puts you in her mindset. So it's HR 125, aka the Gun Safety Not Sorry Act of 2021. Like, how pretentious is that when you're like, sorry, not sorry? Meh. I'm going to get you. Federal waiting period for semi-auto magazines and ammo, which we know waiting periods are stupid.
You figure like there's people on our side that are like 2A sanctuaries like is a dumb thing. You're just wasting time, or you're like worse, you're taking time away from valid campaigns or something like blah blah. We don't like sanctuary laws and 2A sanctuaries. There's no point. So there's got to be people on the other side that are saying that to Maxine Waters, right? Like, come on, Maxine, what the heck? Like you just said, like really, you're gonna put that in the name of your bill? Like, how is that helping us look like we're not crazy?
Yeah.
Or do you think they don't? Or do you think they're just like, yay, Maxine, you're doing your thing your way, and we're behind you no matter what it is, even if it's weird and wrong. We're behind you.
I would like to hope that there are a lot of trying to think what's the right word. I always forget. Like I guess liberal is like the okay word, and like leftists are like the crazy people. I think that's the right nomenclature. But anyways, I would think there's a lot of like liberal people that are just like all right, like get over yourself. We don't care. But the super like leftists, they're sitting there going, "Oh, you slay queen, you get them. Yeah, sorry, not sorry. It's for our safety." But yeah, this is insane. Institute a federal 7-day waiting period on semi-automatic firearms, so-called high capacity, armor-piercing ammo, and even suppressors. Yeah, because you need to add another 7-day waiting period to suppressors. Because the fucking year and a half you have to wait for your tax stamp. That's not long enough. You still might be a little mad at your neighbor, so wait 7 more days to cool off.
And again, that shows that they don't pay attention, or they're just trying to add insult to injury or whatever. So I really think that at some point it's ridiculous. It's frustrating that we don't hold them, their feet to the fire or whatever it is, for like, what do you take? Take this seriously. Like, what do you think this is? Like, people are uh, voting you in to do a job, and you're up here not taking it seriously. You're putting in these stupid laws that you don't even know how the system works if you're putting in a law like this. You know what I mean? They shouldn't get a pass. It shouldn't be like your law is ridiculous next. It should be like this law shows that you don't understand and aren't qualified to be here or something. Like your constituents need to know that you're DQ'd basically.
I mean, especially the FPC put in a little thing. They editorialized saying that the laughable idea that you have to wait 7 more days for your suppressor after
Right.
it takes so long to
Like
get it. Like that just proves you have no idea how to buy a suppressor, because if you really think that that is adding anything to public safety or whatever, besides the fact that waiting periods are completely stupid anyways, like the hypothetical person that's like so angry they're going to kill someone right now, they just have to go run to the store real quick and buy a gun, and they're going to come back and kill someone. But if you make them wait a couple days, they'll be like, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, his dog pooped on my front yard, but I'm not going to kill him over it. Like, I guess I'm calm. And
I'm still going to go back and follow through on the purchase because I bought this thing. So I guess now I still am going to buy the thing. It's just that now I'm not mad. So it's still okay.
Well, and then, so the thing that I always go to, not that I've argued with a lot of people that are pro waiting periods, but it really proves that the waiting period is not a cool down period, or it's literally just to be annoying, because just ask them like, okay, so what if you already own a gun? Does that mean you're exempt from the waiting period? Because if the whole point is, oh, I'm mad now, oh darn, I don't have a gun, I better go buy one. Okay, I waited a couple days, now I'm not mad, I guess I won't kill somebody. Cool. And everyone's happy, no one died. But if you already have a gun, then it'd be, oh, I'm mad, I'll go get the gun I already have and I'll go kill the guy, and oh, oops, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have cooled off. So you're not stopping anybody.
No,
it's like
you just said originally, go to the store and buy something, or like, well, it's going to be faster, or to get one from a friend, or any of the other options. It's a ridiculous attempt to move the Overton window to demonize property. And again, like, okay, so I'm murderously intent on hurting someone, so I can't have the item for a while, but in a couple of days I can have the item, because even though I was murderously intent on violence, what do you call it, like criminal violence, after 7 days somehow that isn't still criminal. So I think that's a new angle that I hadn't thought of before. So if someone does try to give you that waiting period thing, like, oh, okay, so someone who's murderously violent, you give them enough time, and now it's okay. Now they can have the gun. They're never going to get murderously violent again after 7 days have gone by.
So we're still on 125, right?
I don't remember. He left and came
I
back.
don't know. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. We're on
Yeah.
125.
Yeah, you're ignoring one little fact. The waiting period is not only for firearms, but also for magazines, ammunition, and suppressors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I did mention that the first time, but yeah, semi-automatic fire.
I know, but you guys are focusing more so on the guns. But it also makes like how you have to wait for almost half a year to a year for a suppressor. Well, guess what? You get an extra 6 months to another year, so you have to wait 2 years for a suppressor now.
And then 7 days.
And then 7 days.
Yeah, we mentioned that, right? Because that proves how little they know about it, like the process at all. That you would think adding 7 days is. I mean, that's dropping the bucket. You've already waited this long, anyways.
I don't care who you think you are. You're going to institute this, but I ain't waiting any amount of time other than paying them for the magazine and taking it home. I'm not waiting 30 days, 5 days, 3 days, 1 day. No. I'm getting the magazine and I'm taking it home. I'm not going to go and have them do a background check for it.
It's for other people's children.
Well, that's too damn bad.
Why think of the children?
Well, the children can think of themselves.
The best part is there's no instances of someone who's oh, I'm murderously evil. I'm willing to commit felony murder if only I can get to a store quickly. Bingo, I got to the store quickly and now I can buy the XYZ thing that I need for this. And then now I can go follow through. And then that happens so many times that they're now we need laws to stop this. Like you said, they came up with this out of nowhere and just created it as a weird barrier to entry or a way to marginalize the ownership of these things, of firearms.
Well, and the thing is, they went with 7 days because some states had 3 days, but they found out that people were still mad on day 4. So even though
so they have to up to 10 to 15 to a month. Maybe a month's too short. Maybe they have to make it 3 months. Maybe 3 months is too short. Let's just make it. You know what? Let's make it a year before they can buy anything.
I mean, quite frankly, if I'm being honest, there's a kid that I went to elementary school with that I'm still not very fond of, and if I ever saw him in person, I'd be mad.
What I'm worried about is a lot of times in elementary school. A lot of times in elementary school, you would play finger gun games with kids, either cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, something like that, right? And then what if later on availability of guns is just so easy that someone decides I'm going to finish that game of childhood finger gun games with the deadly version? It doesn't matter if it's never happened. It could happen in my mind. So
yeah, you should probably wait.
Your mind is a dark.
Remember, if you already have, I'm going to use big finger quotes on this one. What if you already have an arsenal at home? Well, you don't want to use any of those other guns, so you're still going to have to wait if you buy the new one. That's the one that it just, to me, it completely kills the logic of it. It's okay, just make everyone, if anyone who already owns one, make them exempt of the waiting period because it's not doing anything extra. And then you'll never get an anti-rights person be oh yeah, no, that's okay. So I think this actually came up. I want to say it was Illinois. I guess I'm not 100% sure if they have a waiting period, but I know they have the FOID card. And the idea was, well, why not just anyone who already has a FOID card can skip the waiting period? Because that proves they already went through all the stuff. They already waited for the first gun they bought. Everything should be fine. And then the person was no, they still have to wait for their 7th gun. They have to wait for the 50th gun. They have to wait for every single one. And you have to wait to go outside, mister. We just went out. He's not having it. Oh, well. Okay, what else we got here? Trio of universal background check bills. So they're trying those again. We all know we don't like universal background check. It really is weird how it's so this is a trio of bills. So there's three of them. I don't know if they all do different things or whatever. But like earlier up here, they had one that already makes a registry, and then there was another one that had something about background checks linked in with the ammo ban, and it's like they do the same couple of things over and over again, and sometimes they lump them all together, and sometimes they're by themselves. But like it's all the same shit.
Well, and
This
that's one
one,
of the things that earlier this year I kept trying to focus on as well, is that they haven't evolved their tactics for the most part. They have a little as far as safety in schools now, but for the most part, they're coming back with stuff that's boilerplate. You know, they just had it and they maybe blow the dust. Well, they blow the dust off it, but they maybe update it a little bit. But often, aside from the dates and stuff, they really don't even update it. So it just shows that they're phoning this in. And I think that's, well, if that's the case, if I'm right in that perception, then I think that's an indication that they are considering this whole thing a mechanism, something that they're only half-heartedly putting their effort into, knowing that it accomplishes things for them. It brings in funding just the same way if there's $1 million going to the NRA so that dude can buy suits, then somebody on the other side is making the other side of the money of that, right? So somebody's making a lot of money just by, oh yeah, I hate guns. I hate guns every year. I hate guns so hard every year. Pay me, right? So somebody's just making money on that mechanism. So if we help them by just like, oh, no, don't hate our guns, then they get to say, oh man, I went over there and I hated guns so hard at them, but they still love their guns. So pay me again, and I'll try it again next year.
yeah, that could be. I guess this is. I don't know how do I say this. Like I'm going through this, and most of these are strongly opposed, right? From FPC's point of view, from like gun rights point of view, and a couple of them are like, we support this, right? So tell them that we want this thing supported. But
What happened?
I wonder, do we have to just start like every single year, Hearing Protection Act, every single session, national reciprocity or constitutional carry at a federal level, or repeal the NFA? Like, where are we bombarding them with? We want all our guns back, not just a couple of them. Not just a little. We want our machine guns back. We want our everything back. No background checks. We want Nick's gone. We want like. Are we just happy playing? Not necessarily us, but I mean the general we happy of just like fighting. Oh, they they proposed something, we knocked it down. But when are we gonna go on offense as much as they go on offense? It's cool to play defense. I'm all about that, but I'm a big fan of the multi-pronged attack. I think there's many different ways to get to the ends. I know I've described it before as football, which I don't know a lot about football, but it's like you have to throw a Hail Mary every once in a while to keep their defense backed up so that you can do the little short, like 3 yard run. And you have to do the little short 3 yard run every once in a while to open up your receiver like way downfield. And there you go. That's all I know about football. But it's like do a little bit of everything. Like get these little state level. Oh, we lowered the price of a license by $50. Like that's cool. Like that's a step in the right direction. Like getting a little cheaper, a little bit easier to get the requirements of the license. And then every once in a while, repeal the whole fucking NFA, dude. Like, let's go. Hail Mary. Get rid of it. Shall not be infringement, shall not be infringed. And then when they freak out about that, you go, oh, yeah, and by the way, like, let's get rid of the waiting period over here. Or let's get rid of this or that. Like, I don't know. Am I just being an old cranky guy? Like, I want to see some more offense from our side. Baby steps is what Pink is saying. Every time when you say that is true, I agree. I'm not going to deny that. But I don't know. The fights at state level, yeah, I agree, and I like I said, that's those fights at the state level and getting the constitutional carry and not seeing was that Wild West pimp style or it's the OK Corral and blah blah blah. That's just every state that gets constitutional carry is proof that the streets won't run with blood. So it makes it that much easier for the next state to get it because they can point to all the other ones that already have it.
Well, according to us, they won't run with blood. But if you ask anybody else,
I'm not saying according to us. I'm going to say according to the proven data because that's maybe if it was the first state ever, then okay, you have that hypothesis. But what is Texas about to be? I mean, if it gets out of the committee, which I think people are pretty promising it will, they're gonna like the 12th state or 13th state. Like we're getting there, man.
I know we're getting there. I mean, good things happened here today, so I'm happy.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that because I put my work phone down for a minute. So there's a couple more federal level stuff, but we'll get to that later. So what happened? I'm just gonna let you tell about it.
South Carolina got basically the bill we got was basically they added an amendment into the bill to give us a Second Amendment sanctuary, and as well as letting us open carry with permit. We got open carry today.
Now, we said with permit, is that
you have to have a concealed carry permit? Yes.
So if you have a concealed carry permit, you can now also open carry. So basically now it's just a carry permit.
It's just now just a carry permit. But again, the law goes into effect 90 days from signing. So on August 15th.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's giving the South Carolina law enforcement division enough time to train everybody to say, hey, if you see a gun on somebody's hip, don't automatically assume they're a bad guy. Especially if they're just walking down the street minding their own business.
Yeah, well, I mean, very little things are effective immediately. I mean, it just takes time to print up posters to hang in the lobby or whatever. Like,
right. And the same places you can't conceal carry, you can't open carry. They just all they did was allow those who have a concealed carry permit can now open carry if they want to. So that negates, somebody has their shirt isn't long enough and they reach a top shelf or something when they're out at the store and you can see their carry gun. Now they don't get arrested for showing that.
I've always found that an interesting argument. Like, if you're going to open carry, and if you're going to conceal. But if you kind of poorly conceal, that counts as open carry.
Yeah.
Like I'm not arguing per se.
No, I get it. But it is an interesting reason that a lot of people that were for the bill used, because I guess I don't know of any case that it happened, but I guess that a lot of people were worried that if that happened to them and it just showed up for a fraction of a second, they'd get in trouble.
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't think
because as we've seen lately, the law is more law is harsher on first offenders than it is on habitual criminals.
Well, that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. I was going to say something on that. I don't remember. But I guess I find that weird. And maybe it has happened. I could be wrong. Show me some evidence, I'll believe you. Whatever. But
right.
I find it really hard to believe that a licensed concealed carrier, reached to the bottom shelf to get some potatoes or whatever, and the edge of the handle poked out of his shirt. And all of a sudden, the cops rolled up 2 seconds later and arrested him? Or do you just go, oh, crap, pulled his shirt down and he's like, everything's fine.
Now, I don't know. Maybe it's my Michigan bias, and we've always had non-permitted open carry. Like,
Right.
citizen can just open carry, and you needed a permit to conceal.
But
But
you know what
open
we
is
never
always-
needed? In South Carolina, we never needed a permit to buy. Just putting that out there.
Well, true. You're right. But Michigan did have a purchase permit. You had to go get permission ahead of time to go buy a handgun.
Yeah.
But got rid of that. That doesn't exist anymore.
Another cool thing about this bill in South Carolina it eliminates the $50 permit fee for a concealable weapon permit.
Oh, so permits are free?
Pretty much, if you apply for them.
You have a training requirement?
There is an 8-hour course you have to take, yes.
So it still costs a little bit or something.
Well, yeah, and most people, most places charge like, 25, $50 for, training.
Well, that's cool.
I mean, that's not that I would say that's a reasonable level if you just have to pay to take the course and for the ammunition you use in the course, then honestly, that doesn't seem unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete infringement, and I'm hearing that you don't like the Second Amendment because you think it's reasonable to infringe, which, that's fine. I mean,
Now remind me which coast you're on again? Yeah. Let's go there. Let's go there, please. Let's go there.
That doesn't change my opinions and my rightness. I am still right, and you are wrong that you want to infringe because it's only $25 infringement.
I would not like. Well, the problem is, are you saying the instructor doesn't deserve to get paid? Because that's all that is now.
I'm saying there shouldn't be a requirement.
There shouldn't be a requirement. No, you're right. But
most people are
problem,
responsible most of the time.
The problem is this bill wouldn't have gone through if it wasn't without, if it wasn't without a permit.
I get it. It's okay. You don't really like the Second Amendment. You're just Second Amendment adjacent. I get it. That's fine. I'll allow it. I'm not trying to criticize and make fun of how evil you are.
That's it. I'm getting Travis a set of drums.
Okay.
No.
You can have a set of drums. Doesn't mean he's going to be able to write the kind of songs I can write.
Yeah, sure.
Shall not be infringed.
Yeah. And no, I'm not compromising. It's easy.
I understand how politics work. And sometimes you gotta. It's the same thing that Texas did, right? Is they started with the permit, and then they lowered the price of the permit. Now they're leaning towards constitutional carry, and
it goes back to what Pete said a few minutes ago: baby steps.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is definitely a strategy. You baby step it in. They've been baby stepping all over us, and now they've turned into, bigger and bigger boots, and now we're getting run over by a tank. And we've been baby stepping back on them, and that's good. I guess that whole thing started just as I'm going through a list of, 20 actionable things at the federal level. Only 2 of them were supported by the FPC, and the rest of them were all calls of action to oppose something that they're trying to attack on us. And even given that, of those 20, they're just the 5 same things over and over again. Which the one right before I shut my phone off, I was reading, and it was like another ghost gun part kit thing. And I'm like, we literally read about 2 of those already. And now there is a third one that's going to say the same thing that the ATF's trying to do, and the same thing that the executive order is trying to do, and the same thing that other bills trying to do. Like, they just do the same things over and over again. Ghost guns bad, waiting periods, background checks, ammo bans, high capacity. Like, they just do the same ones over and over again. My question is, why can't we do the same ones over and over again? And maybe we are at the state level. Constitutional carry.
We're doing it. We're doing it over and over again. The problem is, it just unfortunately, it's like this on the federal level. A lot of bills go to committees to die, and it's always been like that.
Well, that can be a tactic, yes, but I don't think the Texas one's going to committee to die. I mean, that's just from, like I said, from what I know, it's because of the amendments that were
I
put
hope
in on
it's
the
not.
side.
I hope it's not going to committee to die.
Right. So because the original one passed, right, and then they amended it in the other one, so I had to go back to the first one being like, hey, you guys passed it once before, but we made a couple changes. Are you cool with the changes? And the quickest way to like approve that is to just have like a joint committee where they both sides get together and be like, nah, well, we still kind of like this, but we kind of want to add this part. I guess that's okay. Well, let's take this part out. No, I don't want to take that part out. Blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, they go, all right, now the bill is equal on both sides. We both voted yes. We're good to go. So, I mean, it's part of the process. I have to say, shout out, I don't probably ever, yeah, there's only 5 people. Anyone who's watching this already knows who freaking, oh shit, I dropped my phone. Knows who Clover is, Clover Tack. But if for some reason one of these people watching doesn't know who Clover Tech is and has no idea what I'm talking about, like, he's been doing a great job of breaking down, like, step by step, going live every time, every step of the way on the Texas constitutional carry, whether it's the people going in and like testifying, like the regular people saying why they're for it or against it, and then we're watching live for the whole day while the people were debating it in the House and adding the amendments and talking about what's going on and back and forth. So, like, I kind of knew how government worked, but this has been like actually watching it step by step by step. It's like, oh, okay, now I really know how it works. And this is just one less step of it. And we'll see what happens. And I think my one dog's trying to catch a mouse.
You don't have a cat for that?
I do not have a cat, but I have a husky that we've had for a little over a year, and he's caught 3 of them so far. That's pretty good. One every 4 or 5 months.
That kind of husky you keep. How is he on snakes? Has he trampled any snakes?
He has not, but I don't know that he's had the opportunity to.
Because
I haven't seen any snakes in the backyard get away from him. So he has 100% success rate in snakes that he's attacked, he's caught, because he's attacked 0 and he's caught 0. So I guess that's still 100%.
Yes. No, when I was a kid, we had 2 huskies, and I used to find dead flat snakes out my backyard, and there wasn't anything in that backyard other than those 2 huskies. So be aware, if any snakes do get in your backyard, chances are it might get flattened.
Okay. I'm okay with that as long as the snakes don't bite my dog. Although I don't know, in the area I'm in, I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of snakes around here. I mean, it's kind of the cold part. Like, even in the middle of summer, like, the hottest days are like 70, and it's always like at least in the low 60s at night. Like,
They're
even
still
recently,
there. They're still there.
It could be, but
They're still
no,
in my
like
backyard.
over where I work, where it's like super hot and like more deserty, I have seen some snakes. I found a big ass snake skin, like a shed. The thing was, I'm trying to remember. I don't want to accidentally exaggerate, but I want to say it was like 3.5, 4 feet long. Like, it was, yeah. Put my arms out. It was pretty long. It was pretty big.
Yep.
To me, a Michigan boy who's seen 4 snakes in his entire life.
Only 4?
In the swamp or whatever. Yeah,
you have led a sheltered Michigan life.
Yeah, well, we got other critters. Again, with the winters and stuff, I guess snakes exist, but there's just not as many as when they can be out all year round, sitting in the sun, nice hot days or whatever.
Yeah.
Although one of them did climb like right over my foot when I was a kid, and it was a blue racer, which are kind of cool looking, but not when it's like going over your foot / half up your leg. I ended up like, I won't say kicking it, but it was more, I like scooped it with my foot and launched it into the air when I was like 9.
They're not poisonous, are they?
I think those ones are. I think that's like the only poisonous snake Michigan has. It's got the little stripe on the side or whatever, but anyways, I survived. I didn't die.
Good. I guess.
Thanks.
No problem, buddy.
Hey, if I would have died when I was 9, who would you have had to wait 5 years to trade you that? Did I give you a trigger or something? I forget what I owed you. I
Right.
had to end up driving down and handing it to you personally because I hate the post office. And I just couldn't be bothered. Yeah, it was a trigger, right? Did I give you an
Yeah.
AR trigger?
Yeah, you did. You did.
I do. I mean, I'm laughing. I do feel bad.
By the
That
way,
is-
I tore that magazine apart, and I'm working on getting that working. Apparently, it's the metal. The metal isn't right on one side of it.
well, you'll figure it out. You'll get it going.
Eventually.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
The dog sneeze on you.
No, he went to go toss his toy like up onto my lap, but it hit like the edge of it hit my leg, and since it's rubber, it like flexed and then it like snapped free and it shot dirt all up in my face. Like springboarded a face full of dirt.
Well, you know those things happen with huskies.
Well, this was the German Shepherd that did it. The husky doesn't really play with toys that much. He chews on them a little bit, like in the house, but he is not a fetch dog. Like you throw it, and he'll be like, "Oh, cool! Like I was chewing that, then you took it away from me and threw it. So I guess I'll just lay here now, or like run around in circles." He doesn't like he could go get it and bring it back, and I throw it again. That is not fun for him. He's like, "That's annoying. Why would you keep throwing it? I'm not going to keep giving it to you. You just keep throwing it, you idiot."
Pink is saying that blue racers are non-venomous. You do have a rattlesnake up there, though.
Okay. Thanks, Pink.
You just probably don't see them unless you're in the wooded area, I guess. I don't think you see a lot of rattlesnakes in South Detroit or anywhere in Detroit for that matter, or even in the suburbs of Detroit.
No, like I said, all the snakes I've seen, I've been up north.
Right.
They may exist. It's not a common experience for.
I think the only snake you'd probably see in Detroit would probably be like a garden snake, if any.
Probably. I mean, I don't know, though. There's huge parts of Detroit that have reverted back to wildlife. Because there's like entire blocks of abandoned buildings, and like, we have all sorts of weird shit. Like,
I've seen those buildings. Man, at one point, me, Matt, and P226 Nut, and a few of the other guys were contemplating buying a building and refurbishing it with stimulus money.
it wouldn't be a half bad investment. You just got to pick the right spot. I mean, my cousin did that in the '08 crash. He was buying houses for cash for like $500 or for like back taxes type of stuff, maybe a couple thousand. And he'd put in a little bit of work. He partnered up with this like general contractor, and the two of them would fix it up and then, rent it out. They're not great houses, but shit, you buy a house for, let's say, a couple grand, and then you rent it for $500 a month or something. Like in a couple of months, you made your money back, and then the rest is like all just profit.
Right. Yeah.
So it's doable, but Detroit's weird, man. Those neighborhoods, like you can be in a super nice neighborhood, you go one block over, and you're like, okay, I don't want to be here at all. So you just got to be careful which building you buy. But God, those houses are awesome, man. Like the super old ones, beautiful architecture.
I wouldn't mind having one of those old Victorian style ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, but my ex had a friend or girl she worked with. They bought a house in Detroit, and it was like a 5-story house because it had a finished attic and like the basement, and then there was the like I guess what 3 or 4 story. Yeah, maybe it was a 4-story. Either way, it's like it just kept being stairs. It kept going up. I mean, the thing was huge, and they paid I don't know whatever $20,000 for it or something. Difference being is that there was a neighborhood homeless girl that always broke into their basement, so they just left the door unlocked. And they were like, "All right, you can," because they had stairs that came from the outside down into the basement because that's where they used to deliver the coal. Like it had like a coal chamber or whatever. But anyways,
Because a lot of those older houses use boilers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And they would have like the milkman would come by and the coal dude would come by, and he had his own little back door thing. It opened up and go down, and you put coal in the coal chute. It went into like a separate room from the rest of the basement. And anyways, they just locked the door between the basement and their house, and they're kind of like, "Yeah, I guess you can hang out in our basement. Just don't break nothing or be crazy." She was just like a runaway or whatever. Like it wasn't just harmless, but I guess that's the kind of thing you deal with.
I'd just use better locks.
Well, I mean, I guess, but lock's not going to stop someone if they keep busting down the door with a brick or whatever.
Get a better door.
Yeah, it could be too. I don't know. I don't know why I'm justifying an acquaintance that I've met once, but I guess they were just like, "Yeah, we got nothing down there anyways, whatever." She's just trying to get out of the fucking rain, like, whatever, knock stuff out. Go live in the coal chute, just don't go in the rest of the part. Anyways, the house is really nice.
Yeah. So I'm looking at these other bills, and some of them either got in some of these other states they got they went dead or the session closed and they weren't able to act on them. You notice that?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't been following through to see what's still. Oh, I didn't mean to click on Pink's thing, but there's Pink. Hey, you're
Pink. He is always famous.
I guess. I mean, he won't come talk to me, so he's not that famous.
He's at work.
The days he used to quit work and come talk to me and get fired and then get rehired the next day.
I don't think that's how that worked.
That happened every night he hung out in the Smeggie cave. He told his boss to fuck off, then he came and talked to me, got fired, then he got hired the next day.
Pink, is that what really happened, or is that just Smeggie imagining things?
No, that's what happened. Well,
yeah.
Shit, man. I think I just went outside for the last time. Dogs are going to be chill for the night.
Yay, dogs are chill.
Well, I mean, they'll annoy me, but they don't need to go outside. There's between wanting to go outside and needing to go outside. So they don't need to go outside.
They always want to go outside, but they don't need to.
Right. Especially because it's just the boys tonight, so we're having a hangout. Come on, bud. My one dog is such a pansy. For some reason, he won't go up the stairs from the base. Well, I say basement; it's the ground floor. But he won't come up the stairs unless the light's on. I'm like, you run around in the backyard when it's dark. You run around the downstairs when it's dark, but you won't go up the steps in the dark. I don't know if he's scared of tripping or something. Maybe he fell downstairs in the past and he's he's scared. He doesn't know, like he can't see where he's stepping.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. He'll just stand there, and then I turn the light on in the hallway, and he comes running up like it's nothing. I'm like, that didn't even give you that much more light. Like, it's a little bit of light, but it's still kind of dark down there. Like, I don't know.
You know, we missed last month.
What do you mean? I didn't miss April.
Oh, you didn't miss April. Okay, good.
No, I was all about April.
Yeah.
I just celebrated it offline.
I still have Foose's AK.
Nice.
Yep, I got one of those master mount rails and put it on there. Nice.
Cool.
Now it has a rail. So
You mean like a rail, like on
side,
like
a side rail?
Oh, a side rail.
Yeah, you know the AK style side rail.
Not really, but okay. I mean, I believe you.
It's bolted on the side instead of on the top, so you can mount Russian style optics on it.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was picturing like a Picatinny rail or whatever, like on the front handguard or something. Like you tactical ninja'd it out.
Yeah.
But you're talking like an optics rail. Yeah, it mounts to the receiver and then comes up over.
Yeah. Yep. Though I am kind of looking at the PSA AKs and thinking maybe I should get one. Kind of, sort of, maybe. I just like AKs. So, anyways, you get anything new or interesting lately? Did we lose you? Did I disconnect? Is G-Web still here?
You're still here.
Okay. We lost him. We lost him. Smeggie went gone with the wind.
You guys stay awake longer than I do.
What do you mean? You're on the West Coast. You stay awake longer than I do.
I mean, an average, but not me personally. I've been struggling to stay awake.
Okay. Well,
Did you hear that?
My thing kicked out for.
G-Web says it's time for him to go to sleep because he just got done watching Jeopardy.
Well, now what the hell? All right, whatever. Well, I don't know. My connection's being all weird, and then my earbuds died or whatever, and I don't feel like sitting here on speakerphone. So I'm gonna shut it down. Thanks everyone for
bye-bye.
hanging with me. It was nice talking 2A with some people, and the people out in the audience. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for going live, dude. A lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. It just felt like the good old days of gun channels when the Smeggie Cave pops up and just whatever. We kind of had a purpose, but also I don't mind talking about random shit either. Like it was just fun.
Awesome.
So, all right, take it easy, guys. And I'm gonna end this with a little song. Shall not be infringed. Okay, bye.